Like, I like watching him.
Yep.
I didn't really know who he was. Whenever I saw him, I would confuse him with the guy who plays Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah, I used to confuse him with Jeremy Renner because they have very similar facial structure. You know, kind of like shorter head, but kind of wide.
Yep.
Same like bone structure and stuff.
Yep.
But then when you really look at them, like, okay, you can tell the difference. Renner has his face is a little bit thinner.
Yep.
And his cheekbones aren't as defined. And it's really weird that I can actually, you know, look at their two faces in my mind right now and like define what's different between them.
Right.
But I watched this other movie with him in it, with Pedro Pascal in it, and at that point I didn't realize, I had no idea that Pedro Pascal actually played Mando.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only through I was searching for the other actress because she looked familiar, but I wasn't sure who she was in this movie.
Yep.
And so I looked up the movie, and then I ended up inadvertently clicking on Pedro Pascal when I was under that movie, and it brought it up, and the very first thing that brought up was Mandalorian. I'm like, who is this guy in Mandalorian? And it's like, Mando. I'm like, what? So that's how I found out.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the name of the movie was. It was on Netflix, I think, or maybe it was Hulu. It was one of those two. But the premise of the movie is that this girl and her father go to this planet to harvest these gems. It's a really weird way that they harvest it.
Mind if we save this conversation for?
Well, this is not related.
Oh,
to...
okay. Because no, what I mean is afterward.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
I want to take you guys out, and I'm afraid that they're gonna close the kitchens and stuff like that again. So,
yeah, so let's move in.
We'll go
because
right
I actually
into-
have some good things and some bad things to say about Wonder Woman 84.
Awesome.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
We've been rolling.
Okay, good.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Talk.
We're back.
Here at Great Stories. We're back again. Round two for the night. Of course, not for you, because this will have been aired probably
Is
days
this going to
later.
get segmented into like a completely different episode too? Like,
well,
so it's going to be weird, like, oh, we're back, continuing from, and it's just like, we're not continuing from anything.
They can probably tell from our clothes that we're all,
That's true.
same. We don't wear the same outfit every day. Most of us, anyway.
Well, yeah.
But we're here to talk about Wonder Woman 84.
Yes.
84 has been coming up a lot, by the way, in my TV viewing lately. I'm watching American Horror Story right now, and I'm on the 1984 season, which is basically like this, Friday the 13th kind of like inspired type of show. But yeah,
That's interesting.
So we have Wonder Woman 84.
Yep.
Now, I was excited about this because DC doesn't often impress me, but if you have gone back into the archives of our older episodes,
Yeah.
we've talked very favorably about the original Wonder Woman movie.
Yes. I thought it was fantastic. I saw it multiple times. I will probably eventually buy the movie just so I can rewatch it whenever I please.
There we go. And I think by and large, I don't know if it's because DC has just disappointed us left and right cinematically.
DC always disappoints me.
But, Wonder Woman really stood out. And so I was very excited when they greenlit the sequel, and I said, well, hey, at least we have something we can hang our hat on
Yep.
and enjoy in the DC universe on this big screen. So even though it didn't come to us in big screen format, damn you, COVID, we did watch it. We got HBO Max and ended up watching it at the shop. And I have to say, it was an absolute garbage fire.
You think so?
They should have called it Wonder Woman 86 because that's basically what they did to the franchise. They sunk it.
I have to agree, but there are some things that I liked about it.
Okay.
So to start,
Please.
give
Give us the good stuff.
In this movie, it has Gal Gadot, and so that's enough reason to watch it in general.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
And I haven't said this in the past, but they did an excellent job with the Wonder Woman like uniform, like outfit, because it is both modest and attractive at the same exact time, and she just looks fantastic in it.
Okay.
So that's half the reason why I could watch the movie.
So you're saying it's basically sexy without being objectifying.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then they brought in that second uniform with the armor from the ancient Amazon
Yes.
warrior with the wings, and it's like
Yep.
that is awesome.
Yep.
So that was pretty awesome too. I liked that.
So we got that stuff like and that's part of what excited us about
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 84 was the trailer, right? And you got to see those moments. You get to see that awesome armor, you know, like in golden brilliance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, also you're leaving on another positive, right? And that is the Mandalorian's in it.
Yeah, so the connection there, Pedro Pascal is in both.
Yes.
Who is quickly becoming somebody that I actually look out for. He's been doing a lot of stuff recently. He's in a new Shark Boy and Lava Girl like sequel. I've seen it in a couple other movies as well. He's hitting the ground running. I mean, I don't know what his filmography looked like prior to like the last 5 years, but
is appearing in Shark Boy and Lava Shark was it Shark Girl?
Shark
What?
Dude and
Shark Dude.
so it's I think it's
that really
kind of
hitting the ground
it's
running?
kind of a spiritual successor really, because it doesn't actually directly involve Shark Boy and Lava Girl. They're just kind of alluded to, like their daughter is a part of the main team, but she's not even like the protagonist. But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, right.
Except for the fact that it involves heroes.
Uh-huh.
So it's an interesting premise.
Yep.
Diana is working for an archaeological, the archaeological branch of the Smithsonian.
Yep.
I think, and basically her job is just to make sure that these ancient artifacts get where they're supposed to go, that they're, taken care of properly, that they're documented properly.
Yes.
And something that kind of bothers me a little bit, not for any like legitimate reason, like she is very elegant, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But like everything that she wears is very like it's like high fashion, She's very well dressed, she's very well kept. And in a way, it kind of separated me from her, because her personality is very down to earth and very friendly, but then she's also very high fashion, very like.
Maybe that explains her lack of success in her love life in those days.
I mean, to be fair, she was in love with a guy that died.
Unapproachable.
Like, so I don't know. I felt like there was a juxtaposition between like her personality, the character personality, and the way that she upkept herself, but she also was in a position where she had to be pretty high society. So I guess it kind of makes sense. And the reason why I bring that up is because later on in the movie, there's a scene where she has to let go of the love of her life.
Yep.
She has to let him go so that she can be the hero that the world needs her to be. And in that moment, tears are running down her face, and she's not made up to look like this high society, like high beauty kind of person.
Yep.
She's very human, and it comes through so powerfully. I'm like, she's just a person like anyone else that has this incredible amount of responsibility that no one else could even possibly make the decisions that she has to make. And in that moment, they really made Wonder Woman a powerful hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was awesome. Like, if I was a young woman, that's who I'd want to resemble. So I think
that's
they
fair.
did a
Okay,
very good job
Okay.
with that representation.
Yeah. Humanizing the character. I agree
Really
with
brought
you.
it down to earth to me.
I think that's a very fair point, and something that was done well. However, go ahead.
But
You're gonna
for
have something
every
else to say.
every scene like that, where they really come through with this idea and land it,
Yep.
there are at least 2 or 3 other scenes that just do not hit the mark at all.
Go ahead. Please explain.
So some of the moments just seem so forced. Like some of the moments between her and, I mean, right out of the gate, I'm kind of lost on the fact that, so the Amazons back in the Mascaria,
Okay.
the island that
Yep.
they live on.
Names, I know it's a challenge of ours.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
They-
Let's not dwell on the details.
They have this competition,
Yep.
kind of like it seemed almost like Olympic-esque,
Yep.
but you know, for their greatest warriors and stuff. And I understand that Diana is technically a demigod, even in comparison to the already demigod-like Amazons.
Mm-hmm.
However, she is a child, and she is competing against all of these, like,
Mature.
matured warriors, like the
Adult
best,
women,
the
yes.
best warriors
Mhm.
of this nation of Amazon warriors.
Yes.
These are the best of the best, and a child is also competing, and she has to, she's able to keep up. She can
Not just keep
her,
up.
Her tiny little legs can run as fast as them. She can leap as far
Faster.
as them, and I mean, in the end, she ends
Yes.
up. There ends up being a point where she
Yes.
has to learn that you can't take shortcuts. That you have to, you know, be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a huge part of the whole film. Is, you know, that the truth is what's most important.
Yep.
But it didn't seem logical to me. So it was difficult for me to be like, she almost won. And again, she's a demigod, but she's also a child.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they maybe de-aged Gal Gadot a little bit,
Yeah.
made her look a little bit younger, like
Right.
in her teens,
Yeah.
maybe then I
It
would.
felt a little more authentic.
It would have felt more authentic.
Yep.
Exactly. I
Yep.
could have believed it that this
Yeah.
was a very young
Mhm.
Diana going up against the best of the best that the Amazon warriors have.
Right.
And that just shows how much more powerful she is than they are.
I think,
But
it's-
she's just a kid.
But I also think it kind of fits right into so many other elements of this movie, which were just downright extreme. Everything was to the extremes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like the '80s is kind of like look back at that like decade of like excess, right?
Right.
And I feel like the points were also made in excess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It kind of it fits that whole feel, which is one of the things that actually I didn't enjoy about the movie, because I think it does stand in stark contrast to the first movie, which felt like a more authentic movie. The first one, you know, like this one felt like it was really just like going for more of a cartoony,
Yeah.
like
It didn't have the same energy.
exaggerated, you know, approach. And I felt the casting choice for the main villain. Well, I mean, obviously
Pascal
Pascal. That part was fine. I think I don't like the fact that he was giving into all these desires, his own desires for power,
Yeah.
where he knew the end result was going to be the destruction of the world, and somehow he was like okay with all that until like one moment in the
Yeah.
film. You know, it's like, come on.
I mean, it
Like,
was a little hand-fisted.
you
but-
basically let your kid out there to fend for himself, you know, the entire movie, and you know,
he realizes error of his ways, but again, it's to that extreme where it's like maybe he wouldn't have let it get that far, or like he would have taken a little bit more precaution to like. So
it was almost a Martha moment.
I get what they were trying to do with it. They
Yeah.
didn't quite land it. I still liked the character. I'm glad that he got a redemption. Like, that makes me happy.
I think, yeah, I do think the character had redeeming qualities, and I think that it was, but I felt like the whole moment, the turn, that kind of thing, just
Yeah.
like was really just again inauthentic because it was so exaggerated. The other thing is you have Kristen
Wiig. Who, by the way, I love her. And almost every other thing that she does.
except for Ghostbusters.
I haven't seen Ghostbusters.
Oh, all right.
But
Okay.
I mean, I've seen MacGruber. She's hilarious. Bridesmaid. She is fantastic.
She's very good.
Almost all of her SNL skits,
Yeah.
they have me rolling on the ground. Like, she's fantastic, especially when she's with the rest of her crew. Maya, what's her name? Maya Rudolph? Is that her name?
Oh yeah. I think
Fantastic.
yeah.
The two of them together
Sure.
never fail.
They have a dynamic energy.
They
there.
do. They're fantastic
Yep.
together.
But here she is. Like, I'm sorry. Like, she's probably no fault of her own for being cast in this role, but she just doesn't cut it as Cheetah.
Chitara?
Chitara? No, is it Chitara?
No. Yeah?
No, it's
No.
Cheetah.
I can't remember. I don't. It's a
Chitara
DC
is
character. What do you want from me?
Thundercat, right?
Oh yeah.
So easy to kind of confuse the two.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like her story arc, I mean, she's very good in that whole like klutzy, like unassuming type of role. I
mean,
she didn't cut it for me in this one as the main villain.
I mean that midpoint between like starting to gain her confidence and going full bat crazy, where she's just like the first time she puts on that black dress and she like steps out in the heels, where she's like, oh, I've never been good in heels, and she walks out so elegantly, like she really knows how to walk in heels.
Yep,
I'm
jumps
like,
over the water spill.
Yeah, I'm just
thing,
like,
yeah.
oh.
Yep.
Kristen Wiig, I didn't realize you
Oh
were.
yeah, I mean, she's got an appeal, right?
Yeah, no,
that you didn't realize.
But then it just kind of like, and she's the only one. I think in the end she does technically renounce her wish, like everyone else does, but she doesn't want to. And
Right.
you can see that. Like, she very much like, it's almost like the reason why she was so kind-hearted and nice to people and just like down to earth prior to having her wish granted was because she didn't have the confidence to do what she really felt like she wanted to do. I think even in the absence of the wish, I don't think it was the wish that made her, as a character, I don't think it was the wish that made her into what she was. I think she always had the capability of being what she was, and she just didn't have that initial push.
Well, in the wish itself, it takes your greatest asset, which was,
Yeah.
I think, the point, right? And the point is that maybe the reason why she didn't renounce her wish was because the thing that she sacrificed was her humanity.
Yeah.
Her, like that spirit, since she didn't have that spirit anymore, why would she ever renounce like that? That would be the thing that would pull you back, right? So,
which I'm actually,
so I think
I'm
that,
kind of glad that she didn't, because it kind of brings her character like full tilt,
Yeah, I guess I just didn't like her in that role.
I don't think she was the best for that particular character, but I don't think that she herself did a terrible job with what she had to work with.
That's fair. That's fair.
I have not seen many roles where I was like, I didn't like her in that role. This was one of them.
Okay.
But next year she's going to put out another movie that's going to be fantastic, so it doesn't matter.
So we talked a bit about scores in the last episode as it pertained to The Mandalorian. Now, when you think about the 80s, I think one of the defining characteristics of the 80s is that you think about the music, the synth pop, music at that time and everything like that.
I mean,
and one
immediately
thing
I think of Stranger Things.
Stranger Things,
Yeah.
exactly, which does it brilliantly, right? But to me, there was like a distinct lack of awareness of using like the music of the time. Like in the titles, they did it, but not in the movie itself.
I don't
there
even
was like
remember.
I don't
any
remember
of the
anything.
music.
There was
Now that you bring, as soon as you said the score, I was like, oh crap! Like, I don't remember any of it.
Right. So maybe
Which
that's
is probably a problem, because
Right.
It should have had a more impactful role.
Right.
That I should have remembered that. I mean, thinking back to the very first one, the score that they had, that first moment when Diana steps out of the trench,
Yep.
and that bullet comes flying towards her, and she just ping, and the
Yep.
bullet goes flying off, shatters in a bunch of little pieces, and she realizes like she's got to step up and do something,
Right.
and she's. Oh my gosh, the score was amazing.
Yeah.
Really set the mood for the entire scene, and then we
Yes.
just watch her as she makes her way through no man's land, and just
That's right.
awesome, absolutely awesome. I didn't have a moment like that
There was no moment like
in
that.
this movie.
Nope, absolutely not.
Nope,
In
not at all.
fact, there were some really like embarrassing moments, I think, in this movie. I'm sorry, the invisible jet scene.
Yeah, I mean, as far as coming up with an explanation where she was like, oh well, you know, my father had to hide the Mysteria, the island, but like, then she does the whole like in it. I don't know. I
Well,
don't know.
we
It didn't really.
talked about a term called contrived.
Yeah,
A very, very contrived moment.
yeah.
In
I
my
think.
mind. As well, a major plot hole. Because of the whole, all right, it disappears.
Right.
Why can they still see the jet?
Right.
How did they find the jet later?
I
When
mean,
they
she
go to,
doesn't even
like-
she doesn't even need it later, because she literally is so when she regains all of her power after
Yeah.
announcing her wish, she literally becomes so in realizing who she truly is, becomes so powerful that she can lasso lightning bolts and use them to propel herself so fast that it basically looks like she's flying.
Yep.
Which she cannot fly.
She cannot fly.
But she can effectively fly, which was an awesome moment. Especially, this was one of those other moments that I was like, wow, because she has this conversation when she's in the jet, which, by the way, how the heck did, what's his name? Her
Steve Trevor.
Steve. How the heck did Steve Trevor know how to fly a jet? I'm sorry, but a prop plane
Major
and a
plot hole.
fighter jet are two very different things.
Major plot
And
hole.
sure, he's a brilliant pilot, the best of the best. We know this. But the best prop plane pilot has no idea what I mean, the very first thing he does when he sees a jumbo jet is just like he's awestruck.
Yeah.
Because he never even saw a World War II airplane, like the first kind of like real metal planes, because prop planes were made mostly of wood.
Right.
So, and I mean, they were open cockpit. Like, the jump in technology between World War I,
Yeah.
where he dies, and
Right.
World War II already
Was
is
already
big enough
extreme.
that he shouldn't know how. But then going
Yeah.
all the way to a modern fighter jet, nah, I'm
Right.
sorry. But
But he figured it out in what, like
a
30
couple of seconds,
Yeah.
hit a couple of buttons, accidentally turned on the lights
Yeah.
in the cockpit. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
here
then,
we go. Yeah.
and then,
Sure.
push to start engine.
Yeah, right. Totally intuitive.
I'm
man.
sorry, how do you start a prop plane again? Oh, that's right. You spin. I mean, this thing has jets. He doesn't
Yeah.
even know what a jet is.
Exactly. Exactly.
But that aside, they have this moment where she mentions where that was the one thing about him that she couldn't understand entirely, is how he's so at ease in the air. And he explains what to him it's like to fly, how he feels the wind, and the
Yep.
wind just carries him, and he knows the way that it moves and how he can move through it. And it's a very touching moment, which she then brings back later when she first leaps into the air and she's feeling the wind moving through her body.
Yep.
And she kind of feels it.
Yep.
And she essentially learns how to glide through the air
Yep.
by using this moment where she, hears his voice saying all these things all over again. And I thought that was a beautiful moment,
Okay.
where like her love and her attachment to Steve basically showed her to find peace in that moment, while she was also learning something totally badass. So like I said, with every like moment that's genuinely beautiful, that was very well done. Like I feel like those moments were directed by someone completely different than who directed the rest of the movie because
Patty Jenkins.
because they were genuine, they were real. Like they really, took the build up from previous parts in the movie and made something out of it, while other scenes just kind of just didn't work.
Right.
So it was definitely janky for sure, but I thought I thought that was fantastic.
You're bringing up some good points, and I know that my overall opinion of the movie is going to be a thumbs down.
Right.
I do feel maybe my harshness and my criticism is probably more pronounced just because of the expectation that the first film set.
Yes.
Maybe if we didn't have that first film, I wouldn't have such a negative opinion of this one. But that being said, I'm still going to give it a thumbs down. I think that they're going to have to do some damage control with the Wonder Woman series if it were to continue. Now, we do have a very crowd-pleasing moment, especially for the old fans, at the very end of the movie. And that is the callback of the armor. The armor
Right.
that was used in that ultimate battle scene with Cheetah is really a callback to a hero of old that pre-existed Diana.
No
right?
idea.
And I'm failing to remember the hero's name, but she saved the world.
I have no clue.
What do you mean?
I have no idea.
Well, it's part of the movie. That's the armor came. She found the armor.
Oh, the ancient Amazon.
The ancient Amazon.
Yeah,
right.
the Amazon warrior, the greatest warrior that they had ever had.
Exactly. Who was revealed to be at the end credit scene
Oh.
as being portrayed by Linda Carter.
Yes.
Who is the Wonder Woman of 80s fame.
Yep. Which
what
actually
did
is.
you say? Late 70s, early 80s.
I'm
Something
not.
like
I'm
that.
not 100% sure exactly when. But yeah,
that's the Wonder
the
Woman
old when she
that
used to
I grew
spin,
up with.
spin in circles and become Wonder Woman.
Correct, exactly. In much more objectifying outfits.
Yes.
But that was our introduction to Wonder Woman. It wasn't through a comic for me; it was through the TV show.
So that was nice. That was
And
nice.
to have her on the screen and she looks beautiful, actually. Like I don't know if that was the powers of Hollywood,
Or she's just
makeup
taking
and
care of
everything like
herself.
that, or she's just got really good genes. But that was a nice nod to the to the fans of old, and you wonder if that's a hint of things to come if they were to go forward with a Wonder Woman 3. Is there going to be a story there with those two characters maybe working hand in hand? Who knows? But at any rate, we'll probably wrap up the talk here, but we'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell us why Tyler is correct in all of his praise for certain aspects of the film. I think he's brought some good points to the table here.
I thought I was
for the
going to
discussion.
like it
Yep.
less than I actually did. I'll put it that way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
did think, based on the trailers and just
Yep.
talk around the movie in general, I thought I was going to like it less than I did. But there was just some moments that I was like, that was good. Like there was a couple tear-jerking moments.
Okay.
Okay.
So apparently, Tyler had the lowered expectations, and they ended up being better than expected. I had the high expectations, in which the end result fell
Yeah.
short for me. So we had a little bit of maybe a different entrance into the introduction into the movie. But we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think there is hope for DC in the future of Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman franchise? DC is going to bring to us a James Gunn directed movie next, and that's the Suicide Squad.
All right, James.
So
Let's do this. Let's make a good Suicide Squad, please.
James is a darn good director, so there is hope there.
Is Margot Robbie coming back?
Unsure. I haven't really read the dirt sheets on the movie yet, so we'll see what there is. I think
Because I think she makes an excellent Harley Quinn.
Yep.
So
she does.
I think
she does.
she didn't have much to work with
Yep.
in the first two films that she was a part of, but I
Yep.
think she's a good actress. So I'd like to see that again.
Indeed. So we'd love to hear your thoughts. thanks again for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll see you again soon.
Another thing.